Check out that wide track. Welcome back to JB Reviews. Today I'm going to show you guys everything you need to know about the 2020 and 21 Ram cabin chassis 4500 and 5500s. Let's get started. Go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, because you guys know this video is going to be good, right? So the truck I'll be referencing today is going to be a 2020 Ram 5500 chassis Tradesman crew cab, and this is going to be an 84-inch cabin chassis frame, four-wheel drive, with a base price at $47,020. This truck was painted in the bright white with the black interior. 6.7 liter optional Cummins was on here, and you can only get the Eisen transmission. Now moving on down, this is going to show you all of your standard equipment. Some things to point out: it does have a 52-gallon tank standard. It does have that Uconnect 3.0, 19.5 steel wheels, clearance lamps. Here's a few more options up top: tow hooks and tinted glass. Starting off the options is going to be those cloth seats. You would get vinyl seats standard. I'm not going to go through all these things, so just feel free to pause it. But I want to go over the Cummins and the Eisen. This is going to be a detuned Cummins, so it's going to have less power. I'll go over that with you when we go outside. And you do have the Eisen, which is the only transmission you can get with the Cummins. And then here's everything else that you see. Destination comes at $1,695 with a total price of $65,175. Under the hood, this does have a 6.7 liter Cummins turbo diesel. Now this engine is going to be good for 360 horsepower, 800 pound-feet of torque. The standard Cummins has 370 and 850, and of course the high output has 1,000 pound-feet of torque, 400 horsepower. So there's definitely a little bit less power, and that's a good thing. They do that to make this more reliable. And as you guys know, those numbers are just a sales gimmick anyways, to get people to buy trucks. Let's just be honest. You don't need much more than 800 pound-feet of torque towing 20,000 pounds, but this is a beast of an engine still, and it has plenty of power. Taking a look on the outside, you guys can see this truck was optioned with the chrome appearance and those fog lights. Tow hooks were standard. And overall, I do like the overall styling with the chrome, especially on this white truck. And I love these huge fender flares. Now, if you get a 4500 or 5500, you do get these large fender flares that you see. But if you get the 3500, you do not get it, because this truck is a cabin chassis also. Now, the reason why this has these fender flares too is because it does have a wider track. So you do have improved turning radius with this truck. And as you guys saw on the window sticker, this does have a heavy duty suspension on the front end too. Check out these wheels. I really like this design overall. Now, if you get the standard wheel, it'll still be 19.5. However, it'll just be a steel wheel. I do like this wheel because it is a aluminum, it's forged, and it's wrapped in a hand coupe tire, 225/70, 19.5. 14 ply. And check out the weight ratings on this tire: 3750 for a dual, and then 3970 for a single. So these singles have 3,970 pounds up front, and then out back each tire has 3750. So this truck can tow a lot and haul a lot. And then you have that heavy duty front suspension. You can see the control arm, it has basically two arms, one right there, one right here. And so that gives you a little bit more robust front suspension. That's going to be used for, obviously, like big snow plows or whatever kind of heavy duty use you plan on using this truck for. As far as the cab configuration goes, you can only get a single cab and the crew cab. There is no mega cab available. I would like to see Ram add that in the future, especially now that you have 4 trim packages. Now you have the Tradesman, which is this truck, you have a SLT, and you have a Laramie, which is really a nice upgrade over the SLT. And then you have the King Limited, which is the ultra luxury truck and the most luxurious truck of all time. So you can really dress this cab up however you like. Now here's the only issue: if you do choose a Laramie or a Limited, they only give you a few colors to choose from. But if you get a Tradesman or SLT, They give you 31 colors to choose from. So that would probably be the way I would go. I would just go with SLT and just skip out on the leather seats and stuff and just get a really cool color for this. As you saw on the window sticker, this is going to be your 22-gallon fuel tank. This is going to be optional. And then out back, this is going to be the 52-gallon fuel tank. So you do have 2 spots that you have to add diesel to. Maybe in the future they probably can do something a little bit better where you can just add diesel from one spot. I think that would be a little bit better and a little bit easier too. I mean, I know in some cases at some diesel shops you can have a pump on either side. I mean, but when you're trying to get your load to the next destination quickly, I think that would probably save you a little bit of time too. But overall, look at the back tires here. It'll be the same tires as you saw up front. They look slightly different, and they probably do that for traction because these look a little bit more aggressive, but these are still hand coupe tires though. Now somebody wanted me to at some point compare all the frames, so I'm going to use this chance in my video and say, if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to my channel. I would love to do videos like that. However, for me to take this truck from one store to another store and then grab another truck, so I would love to do that by putting a Chevy, a Ram, and a Ford next to each other to show you the frames. But I need your support to continue to subscribe to this channel, watch the videos, like the videos, and that way I can get you better footage for my channel. So in the future, hopefully if I have a chance, I can ask the dealer if I could do something like that. But check out this frame on this truck. I mean, this frame is just ginormous. I mean, look at the hardware that you have. And I mean, you have 11 leafs, and you have overload leaf strings too for the suspension setup, and just a really strong frame. Now, as you guys saw on the window sticker, this is an 84-inch frame, and this is the largest one you can get. 60 inches standard, and that would be the only 2 options that you have for that. Now, if you do get a 4500, the standard gross vehicle weight rating for that truck is going to be 16,500 pounds. That truck does have a 410 axle standard, and you can upgrade that to a 444 with a diesel. And just so that I'm clear, the 4500 and 5500 are optional with the 84-inch frame that you see back here. Now, the 5500 has a 18,000 pound GVWR for the gas, and this truck here is going to have a 19,500 pound GVWR. The axle that they're using on this truck is going to be a 489. A 444 is what will come standard. But check out your sway bars. They do give you shock absorbers too. So they do kind of keep comfort in mind on these trucks. Check out how big those brakes are too. Things are huge. And this is just the rear of the frame. Although I can't show you the transmission, this truck is available with a PTO, and this truck was optioned with it too. And PTO is basically a power takeoff. Now, Ram does give you an option to have a split shaft, and that's going to basically allow you to run it at 2 speeds. So any kind of job you're using, if you need to use it for running a dump bed or something like that, Ram has you covered. Inside the interior, although it's pretty much basic, I think that is still a nice interior. I mean, you have vinyl flooring, which is going to be easy to clean. This is an upgrade if you would like to have vinyl seats. That does come standard. These seats are really comfortable, guys. These are seats that they take out of the regular Ram trucks, and they give it to you in your cabin chassis. And I find that these seats are pretty comfortable too. You still have power windows, power door locks. You have automatic headlights. They still give you a multi-information display up here to show you a few things. And push button start. This is Uconnect 3.0, so you can connect your phone, your media. All those good features are still inside this truck. Now, this truck was optioned with the auxiliaries, and you would have your trailer brake, which was an option. USBs are just below. You have 4, Type A and Type C, and then you have the auxiliary. Very large center console, a lot of storage, and they give you an additional USB in here, and a convenient coin holder too. 3 cup holders, additional seating. This does not come up though, however. They give you useless storage down here, and open storage up top, and the same glove box you've seen on regular Ram trucks. For the sunshades, you do not have any vanity on the driver's side, but Ladies, you're in luck. You do get one on this side. Now, obviously, if you get the higher trim level trucks, you would have all that lighting and you would have the vanities on both sides. They do give you some storage up top here with a 12-volt plug. Let's go ahead and start this bad boy up. You can't even tell that this truck has less power when you start it up. As far as the information in this screen here, it shows you your coolant temperature, trans temp, oil pressure, exhaust brake, boost pressure, DPF, oil life, fuel filter, battery voltage, and all your gauges, like a summary for you. And it shows your engine hours too. It shows your average fuel economy, and it gives you a gauge for your front and rear. Pretty cool. Trip information, trailer tow. Oh wow, check that out. 13.6 miles, 17.3 mpg. That is not bad. And then this is showing you your trailer information, and then your trailer brake gain, audio, stored messages, screen setup. Let's see what's in here. Check that out. So you can put your compass in there or your outside temperature. You can put nothing in there if you like. And then they have one for the center too. Show your speedometer, compass, whatever you like to show in there. It's pretty cool. So they give you some nice features for this truck. Shows your speedometer, and then back to all your information for your truck. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this bad boy back off. We're gonna hop back in the back seat, and maybe what I'll do is I'll take it around the parking lot. Let me tell you how this truck's gonna drive. Rough. Out back, pretty basic like you saw up front. You do get some air vents on the floor here with a little storage cubby. On the doors, they give you some storage with power windows. And this is just a standard bench, see, so it all goes up together. A little bit of storage under the seat. And this is gonna be like a first aid kit right here. And vinyl flooring, as you saw up front, follows it back here too. You can get vinyl flooring on the Limited too. I would love for them to do that on just a standard Ram trucks, non-cabin chassis. That would be really nice. Because, hey, who doesn't like to just wipe out your truck? I have 5 reasons why I would choose this truck to tow a big toy hauler. Now, I probably would choose a 4500 just because I think this might be a little too much for me. Of course, I would do a 60-inch for the chassis. But the very first thing I like about the cabin chassis trucks is you can add a engine shutdown timer. That is available. I don't know why dealers don't option more of the trucks with that. When you're towing 20,000 pounds for hours and hours at a time, it's not a good idea to stop that engine. You want that turbo to cool down. You want oil to run through it probably for at least 5 or 10 minutes so you don't seize it up. And they do offer that for these trucks. Number 2 is going to be the 52-gallon tank. If you are towing long distances, like I've towed my fifth wheel already 5,000 miles this year, and those 250 mile trips, they suck. So having just a standard 52-gallon tank does come in handy. And if that's not enough, Ram gives you an additional 22 gallons, as you guys saw, which gives you 74 gallons of diesel. The third reason, I like the idea of having a detuned Cummins, because this engine is not going to be beating up on your Eisen transmission, and overall should have a more reliable lifespan, you know, compared to the regular Ram trucks with the 850 pound-feet of torque, compared to the Ram trucks that have the standard and the high output Cummins. Now, the fourth thing that I like about the cabin chassis trucks over the standard Ram trucks is that you can get a manual DPF regeneration. It's push button to clear the DPF filter. So I like the idea of that. Now, normally when you're traveling, you're towing heavy, you know, that DPF filter is not going to get full. But if you are doing some idling, you know, that obviously that's going to get that DPF dirtier. So that's why I like the cabin chassis over the standard Cummins. Last but certainly not least, I like the idea of having the higher axle ratio. I mean, on the 4500 you can do a 410 as a standard or a 444. On the 5500s, you can do a 489, which is why you don't really need a ton of power. So detuning the Cummins and having that higher axle ratio is going to give you all the pulling power you would ever want. Taking a look at the numbers for this truck, you do have a gross axle weight rating up front at 7,250 pounds. Gross axle weight rating in the rear is 13,500 pounds. I believe that the dually 3500s is 9,700 pounds, 9,750. Gross vehicle weight was 19,500 pounds. And they don't give you a payload number for the truck because it's considered factory incomplete. But if you were like to add like a hauler bed or anything like that, you would have to get the truck weighed at that time, since this is basically incomplete. And I would recommend doing like an aluminum bed, because those beds can get pretty heavy. I think I saw online where like a steel bed could be 2,000 pounds and aluminum beds can be like about 500 to 800 pounds. And if you would like to get the 60-inch frame, you should be able to fit a dually bed on the back of this truck, and that's going to weigh about 450 pounds to 500 pounds. And here's an idea of some of the payload capacities for these trucks and towing capacities right here. So you can go to a 410 and drop that down just a little bit if you don't need the towing capacity. Obviously, if you go higher in the axle ratio, you're going to get a little bit worse fuel economy, so just something to keep in mind. But payload for the 4,500 chassis cabs is in this neighborhood, but once you add your bed, it's going to go down slightly. Now, if you would like to jump up to like a 5,500, they'll be slightly higher, so you'll have about 10,000 pounds on the Tradesman and the SLT. And then the Laramie Limited, actually, they're showing that you're going to have about the same number here. So as I mentioned too, you can get a lower axle ratio, but I mean, look at those towing numbers. I mean, these numbers are just so big. And like I said, this is what you want if you're towing a big toy hauler or even a big luxury fifth wheel. Since you stayed to the end, oh my goodness, I want to drive it real quickly. Oh my gosh. Jeez. This truck is so stiff. And I love it. Uh-oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. It's not bad, all things considered. Alright, so you guys know we have to check out this wide track on this truck. I mean, that's like the biggest reason why I would use this truck for towing. Although, let's just say this ride's not the greatest. Oh my goodness. That is crazy. That is crazy. Man, this truck has a good turning radius. Let's see if I can do a complete circle. Let's see. Alright. Here we go. Wow. That is just crazy. Sheesh. She could do a circle. And keep in mind, this is the 84-inch chassis. Wow. Completely impressed. I couldn't do this with my truck. My truck's nowhere near the length of this. Oh yeah, this truck has good power too. This is a unforgiving suspension unloaded. Wow. But hey guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.